In a sea of indie games no one will ever be able to play in their lifetime, one guy dares to navigate the chaos. His result? The good, the bad, and the eh. I really want to go over this game right here. It's called Rage Quest. But in order to do that, I have to explain the issues that it had and why I think, for the Steam version at least, that it got such bad traction. I guess you can call this an expose into why it was all rage and no quest. Now this was the beginning of what I saw. Being completely oblivious to gaming politics, I had to figure out what this was talking about. So, I did what everyone else does. I Googled it. And what pops up is a Wikipedia article outlining the topic as a harassment campaign. Now, I read through this, and I came to the conclusion that I had to read something else because this was very heavily focused on the negative aspects of just the group and nothing negative was being discussed about the other side. Although it was very informative, it felt like I was getting a very opinionated result for a hashtag group of people that didn't all understand what they were hashtagging in the first place.
Still being hashtag so bored.
Of all the places, I found that Know Your Meme had the least opinionated result of the situation. It explains the entirety of the movement from the journalistic integrity of gaming websites to the campaign that was started by a group of people harassing a female in the gaming community for alleged affairs that resulted in the progression of her in the industry. This movement was full of hate speech, accusations without evidence, and a ton of misinformation from both sides, which just spiraled out of control. If you want to know more about it, I put links in the description. I'm not going to go into depth with it because I just wanted to outline what was being discussed, not do a video on the terrible time in gaming history. Now, with the information that GameGaters want to be known as a community of people whose stance is to fight justice due to the integrity of gaming journalists being tarnished by relationships to a gaming company, there's still a past that is full of toxicity and isn't separated by saying they weren't part of the true movement. This seems to be where the game went wrong. Let's get into the actual game to discuss this situation. You play as Zai, a person that got sucked into the internet, and you go around fighting comments, posts, malware, and other computer-type punny enemies, all on a quest to find the Oracle. She's the wisest being in their world. You're looking for her to try and find your way back home. This game came out 3 years after the huge scandal that started everything, so it's not really recent news. And yeah, I know about how long it takes to make games, so especially since this is one person, it could have been during that. But the problem is, a lot of horrible things happen from that whole situation. So bringing this up in general seems a bit much in my opinion, but this entire game is full of old references and jokes about a bunch of gaming situations, so I thought it was just something blown out of proportion when I first saw the comments. But that's also not a line I could judge because I was not invested or really knowledgeable about the situation. So that's what the game has all these comments for. And the publisher of the game just ignored the comments and disappeared. I completely understand not wanting to engage and make it worse, but I'm not sure that not defending this game was a good idea. Especially when some of the people were like, chill, it's a joke. Now, the problem that I have with this situation is I loved this game. The battle was fluid and unforgiving while constantly bringing new elements to the table. The storyline was engaging and didn't make me want to rip my hair out or skip from boredom. The difficulty was like any good board game, easy to understand but hard to master. The upgrade system seemed balanced so you didn't feel OP like the entire time, but you could grind up and become a super beast if you wanted to. I mean, the game was solid. And it was only $1 with 4 worlds and the maps being this large. How could you argue with that price? So my personal opinion on all of this is that the developer was trying to have a politically opinionated joke in a parody game full of memes that he might not have even thought was a big deal. Then when it backfired, he just simply ignored the situation entirely.
I didn't do it. Nobody saw me do it. There's no way they can prove anything.
And I don't completely blame him for doing that. But did this kill the game? I don't think so, honestly. Most indie games don't gain traction, and it's common to find a decent game in the pile of trash that is the bottom rung of the Steam library. And even more so common to find a game that has very few reviews that are their friends trying to help a buddy promote a game even if they don't like it. I don't think of this as compromising the integrity of games on any platform, because it's just such a commonplace situation that I usually ignore the reviews on games when there's only one and it's a beaming review of perfection. Companies do it too. Even Reddit automatically upvotes your post when you post it. It's better to placate a rising situation by ignoring it and letting it fizzle out on its own, over arguing semantics and gray areas with the potential of something really bad happening afterwards. Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for the person going through it, but some people think of bad PR as, any PR is good PR, even if it's bad PR. So, who knows, maybe it could have gained a little more traction if there was drama involved. So what do you think? Do you think this was the right solution to the situation? Would this deter you from playing a decent game? How about if it was more blown out of proportion? Would that make you want to research it a little bit? I really want to know, so feel free to leave your response in the comments. And as for the rating, I'm definitely going to have to place this game in the good category. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content like this in the future.
All I know when your run is out of fish and chips. Wah! All I know when your run is out of fish and chips. Wah!